Good evening. How we doing? It is a wonderful Thursday night. I am hoping that you guys are doing well. It has been a pretty awesome week. I'm feeling good this week. Got a lot going on. Some decent announcements to go over, and an exciting week ahead. I took all of next week off from work under the guise of it being my anniversary of my marriage, and I have a lot of plans getting stuff done for this channel. So I am stoked. I'm ready to go. Let's see who's here already. John's here. I'm glad. Sardis, man, you're here on time. I love it. Good to see you. Mitchell, how we doing? Eric's here, my friend. Antoine, good to see you. Yeah, it's going to be a good night. We got some decent announcements. We got Indicator today, which kind of a surprise because they just announced like 2 weeks ago. I know January was delayed from them, so interesting. I'm glad that they did it fairly quickly. But obviously, the big one is that this last weekend was the Vinegar Syndrome sale. So we're going to be leading off with all of those. I got a small little collection update to go over tonight. And then I watched a movie this week that I want to talk about, see if I can give a recommendation. I'm not going to do a full review on it, but I just wanted to get the word out there that it's pretty freaking great. So, yeah, we'll go over that. What's going on, Eric? Hey, Jeff and Dave. Glad to see you all back. So let's get into it. Let me see. Let me share my screen. Wow. Mitchell saw a lot of the new indicators at Barnes & Noble. That's actually really awesome that they are already getting shelf space. I haven't been in a Barnes & Noble. Gosh. It might have been like 50% off sales now. Three sales ago. It's been a long time, but that's great that they already have shelf space in Barnes & Noble, considering they just started in the US in January. That's fantastic. Flickering, what's going on? I am glad you're here. Let me get the screen shared. All right. Obviously, this was the big title from the Vinegar Syndrome sale. A lot of people saw this coming. They very blatantly hinted at this. I think that was because people were strongly guessing this one. This was just assumed that this would be the horror 4K upgrade. But we are getting Madman in 4K with a very, very sexy slip, if I do say so myself. Really loving the front of this. And then the back is decent. It's a little plain, but I love the art style with it at least. Now, keep in mind, this is pretty much a beat for beat reissue of the original Blu-ray release. However, it does have a brand new interview with Galen Ross on it. So there is, there's a reason to upgrade at least. So at least they're throwing something in there. John says, great slip and great interview, new interview with Galen Ross, the one person from Dawn I haven't met. Awesome. And that I think that is a brand new interview since COVID and everything. So yeah, I'll be interested in seeing that one. I genuinely like Madman. I think it's a good movie. Clearly it has some very obvious inspirations that it's taking from. I'll say it that way. But I think it's done pretty well. And this is one that genuinely I think is actually going to benefit a lot from 4K if the HDR is done right, which with Vinegar Syndrome, every single one has been done correctly, except the Flesh for Frankenstein 4K disc that was wrong, obviously. But the dark scenes in this film, I foresee being really, really good with 4K and the HDR. This is a fairly dark movie. So John says, Brad Henderson said it's like really new. Yeah, that makes sense. It was probably filmed like late summer or early fall or even a little later than that. I would not be surprised if they cobbled this together just in the last few months. So that is one that I am looking forward to seeing here real soon. And then we got another 4K reissue. We are getting Dracula Sucks in 4K from 1979. Now, this is one that is, it does have, I believe, 2 new short films on it. So again, another reason to upgrade. But Dracula Sucks is a surprisingly decent film. This is the picture of the slip on the front. And then here is the back. I kind of like the back of this one. And honestly, I mean, the front is good too, but I like that they went with this very classic style on the back. I'm curious to see what it looks like in the hand, because a lot of these they seem to look a lot better in the hand than they do in their pictures. I don't know what it is. I think the picture just pops a little more in person. So I'm glad we're getting this. I don't foresee this leading to, and I saw this question a lot over last weekend, so I wanted to comment on this. I don't foresee this leading to a ton of 4K upgrades. I don't think Vinegar Syndrome is going to go back into their vault, sort of like Arrow has with their very popular titles, and started reissuing those on 4K. I could see 2 or 3 a year, which is that is a very big difference from Arrow, which is getting 1 or 2 a month at this point. So yeah, I could see it being maybe one every sale, maybe just a couple a year. And then there were people complaining that the Madman 4K is not included in the sub. That makes no sense. Because first off, Vinegar Syndrome can just announce more titles uh, all the time, and not have them be included in the sub, because your subscription is literally calculated based on the number of titles that they're planning on releasing. Madman is probably something where they found that they could get the interview or the 4K upgrade done in time, and they're including it now, not as a part of the sub, but in addition to the sub. So the subscription literally would have cost the value of Madman more than it did. So there's really no reason to complain about it not being included. Not to mention, there's a lot of people that just want to find a reason to complain. I guarantee if it was included, a lot of people would be pissed. I already own Madman. Why do I need a 4K upgrade? Why is this taking the place of another film? So I think this was the best way to go about it. People that wanted it, they could buy it. People that don't, they could just let it go by. And if you are a sub, you get a slight discount on it. So that's great. It's a win-win for everybody. Nothing wrong with that at all. So yeah, Dracula sucks in 4K, and like John said here, I think it was Brad commented on, or no, actually I think it was Justin LaLiberty, and one of the groups says that this sold really well, so expect more classic porn in 4K, new titles, and maybe older. Their words, not mine. I believe he was saying things that have never been released before, they will now consider releasing on 4K. So that is a very good thing, not a bad thing at all. More 4K is obviously a big win. Eric says his sub package shipped yesterday. Lucky. How, man, everybody else is getting theirs earlier this year than me. I'm so far behind everybody. Let's see here. I am going to go to the next one. Next one, I don't know how to pronounce this because I believe it is French. I'm going to say it's Dragus and Le Bijou. So, man, I can't speak French. Dragus and Le Bijou Samour. David Ledger, or I think it's Ledger. David Ledger is a successful author who has run out of ideas when his publisher asked him to deliver an erotic novel. David begins to look for creative inspiration in unusual places, deciding to rent an old mansion. But not long after he settled in, a mysterious woman begins to visit him each night, sharing increasingly fantastic and horrifying tales of sex and death, which begin to feel ever more real. Combining gothic horror with explicit sex and a macabre sense of humor, Dragus is an unjustly forgotten hardcore Euro horror treasure and stars Monica Swin from Lorna the Exorcist, Olivier Mathot, and Erica Cool, and comes to Blu-ray newly restored in 4K and completely uncensored for the first time on video. I mean, this sounds fantastic. I'm stoked that it is a horror-tinged adult title. I love when they do those. Like Malabimba kind of had that tone at least, and this one looks even better in my opinion. And this is the front of the slip that highlights Dragus, and then when you flip it over, we have Le Bijou d'Amour. This one, first off, very different than the front of the slip here. Very, very, very different tone. The back here, this title says, Adrian is a journalist specializing in occult phenomena After purchasing a mysterious ring rumored to have belonged to Casanova, Adrian discovers that he can make his erotic fantasies come true. But all good things come at a cost, and his sexual good luck charm might have a deadly price. Cheerfully moving between screwball comedy and supernatural intrigue, Le Bijou d'Amour features French sex superstars Brigitte Lahaye, Daniel Troger, and Carmelo Pedix, and is presented on Blu-ray for the very first time. On top of that, we do have extras. We've got a few interviews for drag use. We've got the original trailer for Les Bijoux d'Amour, a bonus scene for that one, and then, of course, reversible artwork and everything. Pretty good release, I'd say. Let's see. Eric says last month's was much later. I didn't even get January's package to ship until February. Mine was super late. And John is thinking of doing the mid-year sub. Yeah, with how many you get, that makes sense. And especially a lot of people like the second half of the year for the horror stuff more than the first half. So, yeah, I could see that. And then this one, I talked about this one for the Black Friday sale for 2021 and said that people should pick this up. And that's because Corruption is a great film. This one obviously is an adult film, but it is not porn in the porn sense. Corruption is what they call a roughie, and it is very much a rough film. It is interesting and arty and just very well done. And I'll throw it out there. Another creator that I've loved for a long time, Michael Keane, did a video on Corruption that was just released, I think this last weekend to correspond with the sale. And it is very good. If you are interested in Corruption, please go give Keane some views. He is great. And the video, it shows just the overall fever dream of Corruption. And then, of course, for those of you that don't know, and, obviously this is something that gets thrown around every time this gets mentioned, is that Corruption also has a second film as an Easter egg on it, Last House on Dead End Street. If you are on the main menu, and I believe if you go all the way to the right and then press down 6 times, a little icon pops up and you select that, and then Last House on Dead End Street plays. It's not a great copy of the film, but it is likely the best that we're going to get. Supposedly, Vinegar Syndrome had been working on a full standalone release of Last House on Dead End Street, but that's been years. The fact that we're not hearing any updates, I'm sort of worried that it's probably not going to come. I think that there were some problems with the elements or something, but that's been ages now. So Corruption got a legacy slipcover. This is the front, and this is the back. Little nudity there on the back, kind of. This one, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Corruption is the first legacy slipcover that we've gotten outside of the Black Friday and halfway to Black Friday sale. I also think this is the first adult or hardcore title that has gotten a legacy slipcover, which bodes well for some of the other ones that, we've been wondering, are they going to do a lot of the adult titles? Because there's quite a few that were released on Blu-ray that never had one. So this is kind of cool. Corruption. And then we got some merch available. We got a Vinegar Syndrome Sucks shirt, and obviously this is to correspond with Dracula Sucks, but the moment I saw this, I had to get this shirt. This design is great. I love it. I love this kind of humor. I think it works really well, and the color is perfect. On top of that, we got a pink Vinegar Syndrome logo tee, which is really nice as well, I got to admit. And then we got this wonderful pink tee. I'm so glad that they went all aboard the pink Valentine's Day swag for this month. It looks really good. This is from, for those that don't know, from the Spanish film Grave Robbers that they did in that was 2020, I believe, like late summer, early fall 2020. And yeah, they also released the Vinegar Syndrome Sucks logo on a pin and a Corruption pin, which this is just great. And then the last thing, there's 2 more. 3 more. Dang, there's a lot of merch they did. I am way behind. Corruption got a limited edition print, and it's pretty good. They also had a pink variant of this that sold out very quickly, very quickly. And this is that variant. And then they released a Peak-A-Rama header for the the stand, the new release, new arrival stand that they've put out there. A lot of people that see others that have this stand and then just absolutely shit on them. I love that thing. I use it for my videos, so I'm stoked that I have it. Marvin's here. What's going on, Marvin? Good to see you. Jeff thought it was Swamp Thing. No, that is they called him the monstrosity. That's from Grave Robbers. And then the next thing, this is the last Vinegar Syndrome merch. They put out a Psychos in Love tote bag. I love the design on the tote here. I'm also kind of surprised. I thought this is the one that they were going to do in 4K, to be honest. This is the one that I was really expecting, considering it was the Valentine's sale. But that's all right. I think Madman is a great choice. All right, then we also got some announcements from Pulse Video. This slipcover is not going to have this big black bar over the nipples when you finally get your copy. But this is 2 films with Marilyn Jess. So in 1987, French adult cinema superstar Marilyn Jess began the production of what would become her final film. Joining her was Michael Baudricourt, who took the opportunity to document Marilyn, her fellow actors and crew, creating an extraordinary mix of documentary and erotic fantasy. Il était une fois Marilyn Jess is at last presented in its original version, which has never before been seen on video, which sounds super intriguing. Definitely interesting. Marvin got the Madman 4K upgrade on the Corruption slip. That's a nice haul. Going all in on the horror stuff there. And then this also has this is the back of the slip. This also has in 1984, Jean-Francois Davy as Paul Kerman directed his last 35mm X-rated film, Lingerie, Finesse et Perverse. That's probably not how you say that. God, I'm so white. Well, French are white, but I'm not that type of white. Gathering all the stars of the time, Helen Shirley, Marilyn Jess, Olinka, Kathy Menard, and Marianne Aubert. Lingerie tell the story of a female director of erotic movies who loses herself in a journey of female fantasies. They misspelled loses here. Man, some of these copies, some of the, the weeks that they put these out, they're just messy. This is a region-free Blu-ray, and it's coming out from Pulse Video. This is only the second U.S. release of this one. Flex is a fan of this one. I really like the back of the slip, by the way. I think that this is really nice. This is a really appealing back of the slip. I like that there's no words on it. But the more entertaining of the 2 slips, perhaps, because it's hilarious. This is the next Pulse Video release. This is the front. And first off, I'm digging this this really nice art style on the front here, but the back is hilarious. We're going to look at that in just a second. Richard Allen, the king of French erotic cinema, plays the king of porn, affectionately nicknamed Queue de Béton, also known as Concrete Cock, in this hilarious parody of what it takes to make a sex film. Uproarious dialogue and screwball sleaze are on the menu in Michael Caputo's 1979 classic, which also stars Liliane Allan, Corinne Gambier, and Marie-Claude Violette. And then in L'Aubergine, I'm not going to read that one out loud. Everybody can read that one. Kathy Dupre takes a job as a meter maid and immediately discovers that her sexy outfit drives men wild. With the help of her colleague, Mike Bartel, they walk the streets of Paris, exchanging tickets for pleasure. A delightful slapstick comedy co-starring Richard Allen, this 1981 classic is a rare X film recorded with live sound, allowing you to hear the real voices of the cast. This, to me, sounds like the vibe that you get from like Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, which is great. But again, the best part of this release is the back of the slip. This is hilarious. I love, first of all, that this dude is so hairy, not to mention the hilarious underwear here. This is such a great, great slip. Ken, glad you're here. Punk Ron just got repeat performance from Flicker Alley. Nice. They're an amazing label that doesn't get enough love. I tend to agree. I do think that Flicker Alley deserves more love. However, I think they need to lower their prices just a little bit. They're not quite as bad as another label I'm going to show a pickup from tonight, but Flickr Alley, even on sale, they are extra high. I think they need to get their sale price down to around $20, and right now they're at like 27. That's just a little high. And then they don't have sales very often, so they're usually $35. Flickr Alley is great. They do really good work, though. All right, and then I believe this is the last thing that came out of the Vinegar Syndrome Valentine's Day sale, and that is the Anus Films tote bag with the pink logo from Altered Innocence. And this is just fucking hilarious. This is so much fun. I love that they went all out and leaned into the cheese this year. This is great. A lot of people need to support these. Make sure that you're going out there and supporting some of these partner labels because they do some incredible work. And in fact, the title that I'm going to talk about tonight that I wanted to make sure I highlight to everybody is a partner label. So let's do that. John says Vinegar Syndrome killed our wallets. Yeah, that's a good call. Okay, so this is a wide release. This first went up to pre-order on Best Buy, but this changed after we got our announcement last year. So we got Heavy Metal, the 1981 film, coming in 4K, and Heavy Metal 2000 also paired with it on Blu-ray. When they first announced this, all they said was this was coming on 4K. These pair of films were going to be coming on 4K. And since then, something changed. Heavy Metal 2000 is only on Blu-ray, which is really sad. I think that both of these could do very well on 4K. I am very much looking forward to see what Heavy Metal looks like on 4K. This steelbook is a wide release, so you can get this on Amazon, you can get this from Target, you can get this from Best Buy, from Walmart, from Bull Moose. I guarantee like Orbit DVD will probably have some in stock. Like may even get some. But yeah, this is one of the ones that is going wide to everybody. This is not a Best Buy exclusive, but if you like steelbooks, I would certainly check this one out. I'm glad we're getting this. This doesn't seem to be the type of title that I would expect to get a steelbook on. So if you want to show some support, I think this would be a good one to support. But of course, the whole changing of Heavy Metal 2000 to Blu-ray could rub you the wrong way. So I get that. And then, oh man, Scream Factory couldn't go another month without getting some random site exclusives put out there. But this is kind of a better month for their Scream Factory site exclusives, I think, because Communion, for those of you that have seen it, this is actually a really good film. But before we get to that, I want to highlight this question. Jeff says, how much better is animation in 4K? So first off, great. Animation in 4K can look really good if it is done right, especially when that animation came out. That came out, Heavy Metal, I believe that is 81. So all of that was done in a way that will really show the depth of that animation. But beyond that, just the HDR, the color that it can bring out is really something that can go a long, long way. Heavy Metal is a very interesting movie, obviously, with a lot of wild visuals, and it's something that could just really shine if they did a good job. And the best thing is it's a Sony film, and Sony does really, really great work with catalog titles. So I'm kind of thinking that this could be one of the better animation titles to get in 4K, because Sony, they really put a lot of work into their catalog titles. So if you are interested in 4K, if you're interested in steelbooks, this is one that I would say be confident that if you get this, it's going to be a good one. Okay, so Communion. This is from 1989, stars Christopher Walken in, honestly, a really good role. And this movie is surprisingly decent. Now, this is obviously a site exclusive, so this is one that I believe it's limited. What does it say here? 1,500? I guess they didn't include that in the press release I put on here. I believe it's only 1,500, and this is, I think, their most well-known site exclusive that they've put out so far. So if you are interested in this one at all, this is one that I would kind of say probably rush to get, because I foresee this one selling out much quicker than the recent ones have. This movie is going to be one that you're going to want, probably, if you're into anything Scream Factory, if you like Christopher Walken, but mostly if you like alien films. This is a really good one. So just in case, here is the synopsis on this one. Christopher Walken stars as novelist Whitley Strieber, or maybe it's Stryber. I haven't seen it in forever. In this tense alien abduction thriller. Vacationing at his family's home in the woods, Whitley is awakened one night by bright lights outside his window. The next morning, he believes he dreamed of being taken by aliens to his spaceship. As the frequency of these dreams increases, he wonders, are these encounters just hallucinations, or is this really happening? In desperation, he seeks out a therapist who may help Whitley expose the truth. Based on Stryber's own experiences, this eerie precursor to the X-Files delivers some genuine chills and adds fuel to the debate about whether we are alone in the universe. Now, something that is kind of rare on these Scream Factory site exclusives, this isn't like a loaded disc, but it's got quite a few special features on here. We have an audio commentary with the director of Felipe Mora and William J. Burns, publisher of UFO Magazine. An audio commentary with Felipe Mora that's probably... I'm not sure if these are two different ones. It very well could be one talking about the UFO side of things and one talking about the actual making of the film. And then there are outtakes, behind the scenes footage, and then theatrical trailers, which, again, not a ton, but at a side exclusive that's priced at $27 that they usually have kind of bare bones, which you'll see in just a second. This one is one that is going to probably be going quickly. I would jump on it if you're interested. And of course, they come in pairs. They also released Blood of the Vampire. This is from 1958 and written by Master of Terror Jimmy Sangster, who did The Curse of Frankenstein, Dracula, Prince of Darkness, and Blood of the Vampire is a moody and gothic chiller in the vein of Sangster's legendary Hammer horror classics. And the bonus features that this list, a new restoration of the original uncensored version from original vault materials. That's it. Bare bones, nothing on it. And actually, let me go to this site real quick, because if I remember right, this is actually pretty short too. Yeah, it's 87 minutes long, no extras. That's it. Just an 87-minute movie for $27. However, if you're trying to collect all the Scream Factory, I think it's a good thing that they release these in pairs, because now if you buy both of them at once, it's free shipping at least. And these are shipping immediately. Both of these are probably waiting for me to go pick up, because I got like 7 inches of snow here today. I did not get a chance to go out. It is cold as shit. And yeah, I want to watch Communion again as soon as possible. So I'm hoping that these are waiting for me. Yeah, this is a good month for the site exclusives. Communion, and I've not seen Blood of the Vampire, but it at least looks like the style that I like. So certainly interested in it. Company I have not talked about since, gosh, Black Friday, I think. MakeFlix finally announced something else. This was, what day was this? This was 6 days ago. So last Friday, they announced that they are putting out Angel Eyes with Monique Gabrielle, new HD transfer from the original 35 negatives. And this is one of her steamiest roles, and this is a Gary Graver classic. Bonus features on this, they have a blooper reel, a Night Owl Theater, and Gary Graver Remembers. This is in conjunction with MakeFlix, but this is actually a retro media title. And they do this quite often. They've got, a lot of like the Skinemax type titles that they put out. Those usually come out from retro media, but this is shipping this week. So if you order this now, it should be shipping pretty much immediately. And if you did order the MakeFlix Black Friday titles, which were Bloodletting and what was the other one? Can't remember now, but those are finally shipping. So you should be able to have those in hand like this week if you had those pre-ordered. And if you are curious about this one, that says legendary maker Gary Graver, long the favorite cinematographer of Orson Welles, brings together a top-notch cast of cult movie favorites for his dark story of the psychotic angel as she works tirelessly to disrupt the lives of those around her. Every option is on the table, including murder, as she weaves a web of desperation, entangling her innocent victims. Starring Monique Gabrielle from Emmanuel 5 as Angel, Eric Estrada, this man on the right here that doesn't really look like him because they got him looking up. He's obviously from Chips and a handful of other things. John Philip Law from Barbarella, Richard Harrison, Robert Corey, with an unexpected but revealing performance by Rachel Vickers. That's an interesting title. I've never seen this one, I don't think, but I'll be interested in checking it out. MakeFlix usually does pretty good products. And then this weekend, of course, we got Kino putting out their announcements like clockwork every Saturday and Sunday. We are getting You and Me from 1938. This is by Fritz Lang. And again, I've never seen it. I don't know much about these super old classics. This is with Sylvia Sidney and George Raft, Barton McLean, Harry Carey, Roscoe Carnes, and Robert Cummings. Yeah, don't know any other information, just that it's coming soon. But the big title that they announced this weekend, of course, we are getting 12 Angry Men, the good one with Henry Fonda and all that, in 4K UHD, which is awesome. I'm glad they're doing it. I think I'm glad that Criterion's not doing it, but I'm also surprised Criterion's not doing it. This certainly seems like the kind of title that Criterion would fight tooth and nail to keep a hold of in the new format. Now that they're putting out 4K, I'm honestly surprised that they're not doing it. But, I mean, Kino is getting a lot of these old MGM titles. And I believe this one is MGM, if I'm remembering right. So, Kino is just going all in on these 4K re-releases. They're doing great. And this is one that I guarantee is going to look really good. Obviously, not a lot of action or anything like that. But, John, we're going to talk about Criterion in just a minute, man. Oh, Criterion. The moment I get excited about Criterion and they fuck it up. Anyways, 12 Angry Men, obviously an incredible film. If you like this film, if you like Henry Fonda, if you like Kino, if you like 4K, this is one that I strongly suggest supporting when it comes out. We don't have a date yet for it, so if I was a betting man, I'd probably say this isn't coming till like October or November of this year, if then even. Remember how they announced things? This could literally be like a next spring type of title. Kino is wild like that. I mean, we got an announcement for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and we still don't have that one yet. So I foresee potentially waiting, although this is a giant title. Probably not waiting too long on this one. And from what I hear, Eternal Sunshine is supposed to be coming this summer, finally, like around June-ish. I believe they said that they were waiting on the color correction, and they were going to be back in the lab to work on that early March. So they're planning on May or June, I think. Kino is what Criterion used to be. That's an interesting sentence. I never would have said that 4 years ago. Man, how times change. I love it. Next one. Random out of the blue. Surprise title. Severin came out of nowhere this week and said, hey, we are reopening our, now that we've moved, what did they move? Their warehouse. And we're going to have a flash sale for a couple of days. And they're announcing a new title. And this was Out of the Blue. And it looks like a pretty great disc, I got to be honest, or discs specifically. This is obviously the Hopper film that they have been hyping up since last year. This was also put out by BFI. And if I'm remembering right, this is supposed to be pretty much identical to the BFI release. And BFI may actually even have a little bit more on theirs. So the copy on this says, Linda Manns gives one of the greatest teenage performances of all time as a 15-year-old who idolizes Elvis, punk rock, and her ex-con father, is surrounded by junkies and predators and follows them all down a one-way road to oblivion. Sharon Farrell, Don Gordon, and Raymond Burr co-star in a film about extremes directed by an extremist, featuring music by Neil Young, newly scanned in 4K from the OCN with more than 6 hours of special features. And there is a lot on this. Sarda says, why DVD? It's also on Blu-ray. This is just the first, for some reason, this is the first promo photo that got put out for Out of the Blue. Let's see. John says this will be on many top 10 of the year releases. Mark these words. I still say let's hold out hope. It's literally only February. So some of the extras on here that are really cool: audio commentary with director Dennis Hopper, executive producer Paul Lewis, and distributor John Allen Simon. Audio commentary with film scholar Kate Renenbaum. Audio commentary with Kat Ellinger, thankfully. Gone but not forgotten, remembering Linda Mann's Subverting Normality. Linda Mann's comes from Out of the Blue. Video essay by Amanda Reyes and Chris O'Neill. Terminal City Blues, Vancouver on screen in Out of the Blue. Main Street Soldier, a short film by Leonard Yakir. Partial commentary with director Leonard Yakir on Main Street Shoulder. Man, wow, I can't speak. Main Street Soldier. Then Remembering Out of the Blue, second assistant director Bob Kester, production coordinator Patty Allen, actor John Anderson, a whole bunch of people. Let's see. Straight to Hell, Alex Cox recalls Out of the Blue, Dealing with Demons, Brian Cox on acting, and Dennis Hopper, AFI Q&A with 4K restoration producers John Allen Simon, Elizabeth Carr. This is, like John alluded to, this is going to be a great release. As I said, I think the BFI actually has a couple extra bonus features on it, so you may want to check out that one. John, I'm going to have to look it up. John says Severin did a few extra interviews and featurettes to add something new compared to BFI. So I wonder if they're both good, singular releases, that it might be decent enough to have both of them. Eric just watched the trailer for this yesterday and is now very excited. Awesome. The trailer is a really good trailer for this. Man, even Brian says release of the year for singles calling. Man, we don't know what's going to be on Thriller yet. Come on. Oh, that's right, John. You were always on top of those podcasts. I really need to do that. Chris, my man, Chris. Chris was on the show I do with Flip on Tuesday, and we all went over our top 10 TV shows of all time, and Chris killed it. If you're interested in seeing that, go take a look on Discovering Cinema. Chris was fantastic. Moving on from Severin, we got Criterion. This was just 2 days ago. And before we go into the announcements, I have to share the big feeling of the week that I just don't understand. So I love the Coen brothers. We've been talking about this for at least the last almost full year that I've been doing this channel, and they put out Miller's Crossing, and it just came out, and I don't have it yet because I was waiting for a sale, but now I don't even know if I should pick it up. If you haven't heard yet, this new release of Miller's Crossing is missing about 2 minutes of footage. The hardest part here is they did not announce that. They just put out the movie. Oh, and by the way, it's not a new restoration. It's the exact same restoration as was done previously, but they took 2 minutes out of it and didn't tell anybody. And so when people were getting this disc in, they were realizing that the old release is the exact same restoration and has additional footage. What is Criterion doing? Like, I don't agree with it, but I do understand that some directors want to go in and take some personal liberties with something they've done. Now, with what's happening with Miller's Crossing, first off, we don't even know why, because there's no explanation for why this is a new cut, but they didn't take out, anything that was politically incorrect. They didn't take out anything that was, a time waster. They didn't take out anything that was just unnecessary. I don't understand why that they would go in and do this, but the worst thing here is to not be upfront with the consumer about it, because a lot of people, first off, they've seen these films before and they're buying it because they want to hold on to it for a long time. A lot of people worship Criterion, and this is a reason why it doesn't make sense to worship any label, first of all, because all labels are fallible. They're going to make mistakes, and I get that. But with something like this, I don't understand how you have the reputation Criterion does and then don't get ahead of it by at least letting it be known what is happening. And they even could have just called it a director's cut, and it would have been fine. But there's nothing on the website that says this is a new cut, this is a different cut, this is I don't even know what you would call it, because unless they're coming out and saying something like this is why we took it out, it is odd. It is just weird, because it is a very if people who've seen Miller's Crossing, it's a very tight film. There's not really anything to get rid of here. So yeah, I don't understand. I know it's a joke, but I kind of wish they did this. Sarda says maybe they will send an extra disc with the 2 minutes later on. They won't. And I honestly, I'd be surprised if they commented on it at all. Okay, so new announcements for this month, which to me, I mean, a couple of them are kind of cool, but it's a pretty light month for me. Coming on May 10th from Criterion is Mr. Klein from 1976. One of the crowning achievements of blacklisted Hollywood director Joseph Losey's European Exile, the spellbinding modernist mystery, Mr. Klein puts a chilling twist on the Wrong Man thriller. Alan Delon delivers a standout performance as Robert Klein, a decadent art dealer in Paris during World War II, who makes a tidy profit buying up paintings from his desperate Jewish clients. As Klein searches for a Jewish man with the same name for whom he has been mistaken, he finds himself plunged into a Kafkaesque nightmare in which his identity seems to dissolve and the forces of history to close in on him. Met with considerable controversy on its release for its portrayal of the real-life wrongdoings of the, I believe this is pronounced Vichy government, this haunting, disturbingly beautiful film shivers with existential dread as it traces a society's descent into fantastic fear and inhumanity. This is a new 4K restoration, and they got some interviews with a critic, and then an interview from 1976 with the director and an actor, and a documentary on the real-life roundup, a central historical element of Mr. Klein, and an essay by film scholar Jeanette Vincendo, and that's it. Again, I'm kind of surprised that they are not doing commentaries for a lot of these. Yeah, it's odd. Let's see. Brian says, I heard that Criterion took it out because the Coen brothers wanted to take it out. Yes, but why? And why not tell the consumers? I agree. Let's see. John says, totally a skippable month of Criterion. I would agree for the most part. I think there's two that I really want. Criterion should handle public relations as if social media exists. Might do some good. What a great point, Flickering. And then Sarda says that he is a solid director. That's awesome. I don't think I've seen any of his films, to be honest. So I'm at least interested in seeing this one. The story sounds great. This one is The Funeral. This is from 1984. It is death Japanese style and the rollicking and wistful first feature from maverick writer-director Juzo Atami. In the wake of her father's sudden passing, a successful actor and her lascivious husband leave Tokyo and return to her family home to oversee a traditional funeral. Over the course of 3 days of mourning that bring illicit escapades in the woods, a surprisingly materialistic priest, and cinema's most epic sandwich handoff, the tensions between public propriety and private hypocrisy are laid bare. So again,
excited for this one.
Restoration, new interviews, a short program produced by the Criterion Channel, commercials, and an essay. Again, it is interesting to me that they are not getting. What the heck? Flip's here. What's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
I don't have any headset in, so I can't hear you. There we go.
I was wondering. I was wondering why.
Hopefully, that's not echoing for anybody. How we doing? Flip is here.
Good. Yeah, we got another 9 inches of snow, so we shut the restaurant down early.
John says Flip hacked my channel.
All right, guys, I'm only talking about Japanese movies from this point forward.
I love that you come on here and it's an Asian movie as that happens.
I know. That's awesome.
And speaking of Asian, Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast, says The Funeral is very good. He was a great director. This is one that looks good for sure. Let's see. John asked, is Citizen Kane fixed yet? I want to grab that with Touch of Evil soon. From what I hear, yes. Yes, it is fixed and shipping at this moment. And by the way, Flip is just showing off that haircut, says Cohen, and it looks fantastic.
Thank you. I went from being ugly, from being a 1 to being a 10, so I'm just not used to it.
Speaking of 9 inches, then we have
Definitely.
this is this is the first one of this month that I'm excited for a Criterion. This is Mississippi Masala. I think I've seen this one a very long time ago, but I'm barely remembering it, so maybe not. This is the vibrant cultures of India, Uganda, and the American South come together in Miranair's Mississippi Masala, a luminous look at the complexities of love in the modern melting pot. Years after her Indian family was forced to flee their home in Uganda by the dictatorship of Idi Amin, 20-something Mina spends her days cleaning rooms in an Indian-run motel in Mississippi. When she falls for the charming black carpet cleaner Demetrius, played by a young and brooding Denzel Washington, their passionate romance challenges the prejudices of both of their families and exposes the rifts between the region's Indian and African American communities. Tackling thorny issues of racism, colorism, culture clash, and displacement with big-hearted humor and keen insight, Nair serves up a sweet, sexy, and deeply satisfying celebration of love's power. I also think it's hilarious that you jump in here while we're talking about Criterion.
I will watch anything with Denzel.
Especially young Denzel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seeing how he could show off that early. And, I mean, the story is just incredible. Let's see. Flickering says, definitely want to pick up The Funeral. Tampopo is a classic, and I watched The Funeral back in the VHS days, so looking forward to revisiting it. Eric says, had an e-learning day, but the snow didn't hit until 2-ish, then came down crazy. That's about when yours, I think you were saying.
Yeah,
yours
ours, I showed up at the restaurant about 1, and it had started snowing about 30 minutes before, and it was already, the whole road was gone. So, came down fast.
It started snowing here about 6 a.m., and it was really steady till about noon, and then it got insane. Like, it was falling hard, and then by about 2:30, it was just done.
Hey, you want to hear a fun fact about Denzel Washington?
Sure.
He has never appeared in a franchise that hasn't got a sequel until Equalizer, and it's getting a third one. So he's never been a part of a 2-part movie series. Yeah, they
Equalizer third.
That's his next movie. I guess they're doing it like right now.
Wow, interesting.
It's just a weird fact.
Did they not do a TV show for that too? I think.
Yeah, it's got
Queen Latifah, right?
Yeah, but
crazy. Yeah, how did he go that long without a sequel? That's amazing.
Without a sequel, and I mean, I like The Equalizer, but it's not like my go-to Denzel. You know what I mean?
All right, and then the other. This is one that a lot of people are interested in. Chan is missing from 1982. Let's see. A mystery man, a murder, and a wad of missing cash in his wryly offbeat breakthrough. Wayne Wang. That's a rough name. Wayne Wang updates the ingredients of classic film noir for the streets of contemporary San Francisco's Chinatown. When their business partner disappears with the money they had planned to use for a cab license, driver Joe and his nephew Steve scour the city's back alleys, waterfronts, and Chinese restaurants to track him down. But what begins as a search for a missing man gradually turns into a far deeper and more elusive investigation into the complexities and contradictions of Chinese American identity. Again, first off, I'm noticing, Criterion really diversifying over the last couple of years. I think that they really felt a lot of those comments basically saying Criterion so white and really going against that.
Yeah, they were pretty white.
And they were for a very long time. Yeah.
Like I said before, I'm not a big fan of film noir, but I don't like American film noir. I think a lot of it was made during the Code era, right? And I'm always drawn to other countries' noir. So I'm going to watch this. I'll probably pick this up and give it a shot.
And this one does have a making of documentary on it, but again, no commentary. Just the story with any new Criterion release, it feels like. And I don't think I saw it on this one either. Was there? There is a new audio commentary featuring Nair, the director.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, whoops. I must have clicked one of the hashtags. Well, awkward. All right. That wasn't ridiculous. But the last one for the month is probably the one most people are excited for. We are getting Billy Wilder's Double Indemnity on 4K. And since Flip loves film noir, this is the one that he is most looking forward to. This is coming on May 31st, and it's from 1944, and famously has Fred McMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, can't speak now. So you're here, you're making it all nervous. Barbara Stanwyck and Edward G. Robinson. Obviously, Billy Wilder is a powerhouse of a director and has done a lot of great things. And for some reason, this one has not flown under the radar, but not gotten a lot of love. And this appears to finally be the release that is going to go there for them.
Is this a good movie?
It's Billy Wilder, so it's very well made, but you don't like film noir, so I hesitate to tell you that it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen there's a few that I like, and I am a big fan of black and white 4K. So
right, I guarantee you this one. If it is Criterion, so I hate to say I guarantee, but I think that there's a lot of potential for this one.
Maybe I'll give it a shot in the 50% sale.
And there is a commentary, so there's at least something to look forward to there. And it looks good. I like the cover on this one. Really well made.
That's a good cover.
Jeff says, I want this, but so far Criterion is tripping over themselves with 4K.
Maybe,
have you watched the... Go ahead.
I haven't, but from my friend who works at Discotheque who authorizes their discs, from what I understand is that 4K is such a pain in the ass format. So maybe Criterion, this is the reason why they were so hesitant. It took them years to jump into the 4K ring. And I mean, they've had nothing but problems since. So maybe that's why.
But how come much, much, much smaller, and not to disparage the smaller labels, but the ones without the spending power that Criterion has, how are they able to nail it? I mean, look at like Severin right out of the gate, killed it with their first 4K releases.
Well, so this kind of ties back to when we had a conversation with Aaron. It seems like Criterion has a lot of spending power, but when you look at companies like Severin, or the smaller labels like Blue, like Blue Underground, they seem to put a lot of focus into their 4Ks and a lot of resources and a lot of time and effort. Criterion's putting out how many releases per month? 5? Like 4 to 5 per month. So that's a lot of discs that they're churning out. Severin's not putting out 4 to 5 releases every single month. Are they?
On average, honestly, yeah, they're putting out at least 4 to 5 discs. I mean, some of these months they're putting out a box set and a release, so it's only like 2. But I mean, Arrow is keeping up with the 4 to 5 a month.
They've also had a few issues.
They've had authoring issues. What I'm saying is the restoration work that Criterion has done has not been up to snuff with the rest. The only one that you brought up really makes sense is Blue Underground, because they're only putting out 4 or 5 titles a year, and they've put them out 5 times prior. So
and you have said that their 4Ks are the best.
Yep.
And that would make sense that I mean, it seems like they're dedicating themselves to the 4K format.
Yeah. And the big thing with Blue Underground is they have saved the money so far for the most part, because they're not reauthorizing licenses, because a lot of what they've put out so far, Bill Lustig owns perpetual rights to. So they have the film elements, and they can just restore them to the best of their abilities and not repay for them.
Well, that could also tie into why they're so good as well. They own the film elements. They can do what they want with them. A lot of these companies, I mean, from an anime perspective, Japanese studios, for instance, are so involved with every step of like the artwork on the front cover has to get authorized by these companies. So I can only imagine what it's like for them.
And that's for all these as well. And then I agree with Jeff here. Jeff says if the quantity is the problem, lower it and raise the quality.
Completely agree. I 100% agree. I mean, it seems like you and me are both pretty heavily into collecting, and it's can be overwhelming to keep up with. I mean, just keeping up with news is overwhelming. I couldn't imagine being like Daisuke Beppu, who's buying every single release.
Yeah. Not to mention paying for shipping over there.
Yeah, I can
imagine. Every single month. Okay, we finally got a release date for Without Warning coming from Kino. This is from 1980, and once again, Kino is putting a slipcover on it and hoping everybody buys a copy of this. But this is one that's kind of worth it. Without Warning is a pretty fun movie. It's got Jack Palance and Martin Landau, and this was a Scream Factory title and went out of print, and then immediately, of course, as they have been, shot up to like $55, $60 on the secondhand market. But this looks like a really good release. It's got an audio commentary with the producer and director, Graydon Clark. Graydon Clark is great. He has done so many amazing things. Like, I love him in Wacko that Vinegar Syndrome put out. He also did Satan's Cheerleaders, Angels Brigade, The Return, and Joysticks, Final Justice, The Uninvited, all kinds of stuff. This is the ultimate in extraterrestrial terror, Without Warning, and it's an alien. It preys on human fear. It feeds on human flesh. It comes with flying, blood-sucking jellyfish, and it's here. A group of teenagers, a grizzled hunter, and a crazy war veteran wage a life-and-death battle against the insidious invader. Be warned, there can be only one survivor. The alien or Earth. Humanity depends on Jack Palance, Martin Landau, Tara Nutter, and that's a great name. Christopher S. Nelson, Cameron Mitchell, Neville Brand, Sue Ann, Ralph Meeker, Larry Storch, Lynn Thiel, Darby Hinton, and David Caruso to defeat the evil E.T.
David Caruso
in 1980.
Does that thing have a cape on it?
If I remember right, kind of.
It looks like a cape on the cover, but I don't know if it's my eyesight.
By the way, this is done by cinematographer Dean Cundy, lensed with this classic creepfest, and effects whiz Greg Canham, who did Bram Stoker's Dracula, created the freaky fiends from outer space. Don't say we didn't warn you. And this has the trailers from hell on it, interviews with Dean Cundy, and a whole bunch of other people, new artwork, and everything. This one...
Is it a 4K?
No, unfortunately
not. I've never even heard of that movie.
It's one of the underseen ones that needs to be revisited by a lot of people.
Nathan,
back to what I wanted to bring that up. We were just talking about. Nathan says Blue Underground is great, but they're running out of titles. Who the hell wants Night Train Murders on 4K? I agree. I would say they're running out of titles, but we also don't know what else they still have rights to, because they have some other movies that is going to be great if they ever put them on 4K. But also, it's Blue Underground. Go out and license something new, please.
I mean, but there's 8 billion people in the world. There was at least one dude who saw that and was like, yes, my favorite movie is getting a 4K.
That's true. And that's why I always say on this channel, every single film has been somebody's favorite film.
What's up, Foo? I love you.
Glad you're here, Foo. Mitchell says, I'd rather have Stendhal Syndrome 4K. I agree. Completely agree.
Where's Stendhal Syndrome? Is he in the chat?
No, not tonight. Then we got a release date for Francis the Talking Mule. Have you seen this before?
No, I'm all right.
So this was the inspiration for Mr. Ed.
I feel like we talked about this. I'm having deja vu. Did this get announced before?
Yeah, this is just all the release details.
Oh, okay.
So this is coming out on May 3rd, and it's got 7 different films in it, and it's coming on 3 different discs. We have from 1950 through 1956, and all of these are black and white. And there's some decent actors in a few of them. Nothing crazy, but interesting title to put out. It's a very Kino title, I'll say that.
Yeah, it is.
Kino, for those that don't realize this, maybe because they just, keep in mind, this is the company that still sells, or not sells, they send out paper catalogs to have people literally mark what they're going to be buying and mail that in so that they can get a package later.
They do paper catalogs?
Yes. So Kino Lorber, the average consumer age that is buying from Kino is literally like 63 at this point.
No way. Real?
Yes. That's why most of what they focus on is the classics. And they've more recently been getting into some of the crazier stuff. But yes, it is like a known fact that their average consumers around 63 to 65.
That's insane to me. Well, I mean, God bless the boomers, man.
And look, even Eric says, I love getting those catalogs.
Is Eric 63?
No, Eric is definitely not. Let's see. 100 says, is it comedy or horror? I know you're talking about Without One, but I really wish I could have a Francis the Talking Mule horror movie. Next, speaking of horror,
Jesus Christ, I was not ready for that, dude. I don't know why that made me. I don't jump easily, but what the fuck is that?
Man, we've talked about this with Eric on the other show a couple times. You know how we've talked about Tumbling Doll of Flesh?
Yeah.
So this is from the director of Women's Flesh, My Red Guts, and Tumbling Doll of Flesh, comes the finale to his horror trilogy, Suicide Dolls, with a making of Suicide Dolls, coming soon with brand new English subs. And when they announced this, look at how they announced this. They put out this picture, and then it advances. And advances.
Okay.
And advances.
Okay. That's all right. I'm sure Eric is rock hard looking at this.
Oh, man. Yeah, Sardis, I still get my catalogs also. I still need to turn that off. Oh, look at that. Eric is free? Eric is saying he's 38.
I mean, you're close. You're closer to me. So.
Yes, the catalogs from Kino are free.
Eric says what?
I wonder if that's because he didn't see this announcement and now he's just excited.
Wait, are the other two coming out? Is Tumbling Doll of Flesh getting released?
They've already put it out.
Wait, that's out already?
Yes. They put out both of them already. I showed you the release of it.
Dude, there's so many releases. And I kind of don't want to bring that into my home.
I should have got you that for Christmas instead of what I got you.
My wife would have hated you. She got the mail and opened it and was like, what is this?
Tumbling Doll of Flesh, huh? Is this for the kid?
oh God. Daddy, I want to watch Tumbling Doll of Flesh.
All right, only a couple left now. We are getting Indicator announced this morning some really interesting things. So this one is coming. This is the only US and UK release for the month of May from Indicator, by the way. I don't know how to say this. It's probably Pamini, but they announced the Pamini Organization. These are a few movies that came out between 72 and 74. And listen to this, really cool. Indicator will unleash a project that has been a number of years in the making. The Pamini Organization puts the spotlight on a collection of films that have been extremely hard to find since their original theatrical outings. A vibrant independent company set up by three ambitious friends, Pamini would produce one mid-length film, Hunted, a taut suspense thriller starring Edward Woodward and June Ritchie, and two feature films, Assassin, a grimly realistic spy film starring Ian Hendry, Edward Judd, Frank Windsor, Ray Brooks, and Mike Pratt, and Moments, an enigmatic romantic mystery starring Keith Mitchell and Angarad Rees. When the company disbanded, the films disappeared into the ether until now. Rescued from the archives to be given their first ever home entertainment release, these incredible films will be presented in a deluxe, individually numbered, limited edition Blu-ray set, accompanied by a wealth of newly produced extras, including feature-length director commentaries, cast and crew interviews, and an 80-page book.
The first two movies sound awesome.
Not Panini, in a moment.
For a second, I thought you said Panini Organization.
The Panini Organization.
That's great.
Putting out folded material for your favorites.
So these films were lost?
They literally have never had a home entertainment release on any format.
I mean, for film preservation, that's cool as shit.
It's very cool.
I love that cover.
Yes, Marvin says the Mars Volta's second album is named after Francis the Mule.
As much as I love Mars Volta, I'm surprised I didn't know that. That's insane.
And that album is incredible.
Great album. Are you a big fan of At the Drive-In?
No, I wouldn't say a big fan. I like the Mars Volta more, but I mean, who doesn't rock One Arm Scissor at least 5 or 10 times?
Yeah, that's true. I listened to it today, actually.
Okay, so these other two releases, keep in mind, these are only UK from Indicator for the rest of May, which is interesting. We are getting Connecting Rooms, which is written and directed by Franklin Gollings. This is from 1970, featuring screen legends Bette Davis and Michael Redgrave. Available on Blu-ray for the first time in the UK, presented from a glorious 4K restoration. This features a rare recording of Bette Davis in conversation and 2 short films by the director as well.
That sounds like a pretty good release.
Yeah.
And also, you want to highlight Sardis's comment here. That release is $34. The other one.
The Panini, yeah, the box set.
That's
It is
insane.
very cheap, yeah. And it's
And what's that be
Diabolic
like?
already has it up for pre-order, and there's a lot of stuff on Diabolic right now. So if you want to get everything together, keep in mind it won't ship until the last item is in stock. So it probably would be like late May, even early June. But there's a lot of good stuff up for pre-order right now that you could, save on shipping, get it all together. And then finally from Indicator, Peter O'Toole in Murphy's War. You got to love this cover.
That's why I laughed. He looks a little too happy.
So Peter Yates's Murphy's War from 1971 makes its worldwide Blu-ray premiere, starring Peter O'Toole giving one of his most spirited performances, and Philippe Noiret. This World War II adventure combines impressively staged action and good humor, and is accompanied by a wealth of new and archival extras. Sounds like a flip movie.
It's not good. Hey, is Peter Yates the same director as Eddie Coyle, the Friends of Eddie Coyle?
Let me take a look.
Because Peter Yates sounds familiar.
For some reason, that does sound right, and Sardis will probably have the answer faster than I will. Oh, that's why he sounds familiar. He's the guy that did Kroll. What is the one that you're? Yes, the Friends of Eddie Coyle. Yes, you are
awesome.
correct.
He's a great director. That's a great movie.
Yep. And look at that. I got a couple people. Han says yes, and Jeff says it is right. After that, we got some kind of bad news from Indicator. They have teased for the last, 2.5 years that they were putting out California splits. And some followers of the Indicator label may be aware that some years back we teased Robert Altman's California splits for a future release. Sadly, and despite a great deal of time and effort, legal complications have proven too much of a hurdle, and we can now confirm that this will not be happening. We are, of course, as upset with this news as you are, and hope to make up for it with many exciting releases of other great films. Obviously, they had to say that sentence at the end, but I mean, this sucks. This is one that a lot of people have been waiting for a long time. And then they also said One for the Road that just got announced for April for the UK and US. The presentation has undergone a change. After discussions with the filmmakers and disappointment with the results, the planned restoration using a scan of a preservation print has been abandoned. Instead, we have accessed an original digital master so as to present the film with the greatest level of clarity and detail possible within the confines of its chosen format, the 2003 film being an early adopter of digital cameras. So something must have happened with the restoration they were given, and it looked like shit. So they're changing it, which is, I'm glad, and it looks like there's no delay coming. But this is the example of what Criterion should have done about Miller's Crossing. There was a change.
Wait, there's a problem with Miller's Crossing?
I forgot you came on after we talked about that.
I was just about to buy it too. Are you kidding me?
So Miller's Crossing, first off, same restoration as the studio disc. They did nothing to it. And then on top of that, it's missing 2 minutes of footage because the Coens asked them to remove it. We have no reason why, but they didn't tell anybody that it was a different cut. It's just 2 minutes short.
Did they tell anybody that it was a new restoration?
No.
Criterion sucks.
It is so different to see them, fall from what they used to be. And it's sad that you can't count on them.
But, man, oh my God. I hope the Coens don't turn into Wong Kar-wai and start going back and editing their old films.
And that's the thing. I said it earlier. I don't necessarily mind that directors do that. It's a work of art. Something you're not always, super stoked with how it turned out. And now you have the ability to change something. And you can't do that with certain pieces of art. So I'm glad that they can. However, tell us that something happened. And also,
or make it an option.
Yes.
It's like when Kanye West changed Wolves on Life of Pablo. Yep. I like the original version.
I get that fully. And then if you are interested, they also are one of the better companies that gives an indication of stock limits, what they have left. So under 100 is listed at the top and then low stock at the bottom. The full list is on the right here in the Instagram comments. And yeah, I really wish other companies did this when things were getting low and they warned you. This is so great. Cool.
Oh man, better hurry up and jump on Columbia Noir for the 4th time.
What's funny is I have the original Columbia Noir that you purchased right there.
That's hilarious. And then I bought it like 2 other times.
That's true. This year, we are finally getting a release of Joey Travolta. And I put a little... Never mind. I'm going to see if anybody else comments on it. Coming on May 10th from Code Red through Kino Lorber, we're getting Sunnyside from 1979. This is New York City, 1979. Every jungle needs a king. Joey Travolta. Every jungle needs a king. Joey Travolta makes his feature film debut as Nick Martin, a young tough guy from Sunnyside, Queens. He aspires to move his mother and 2 brothers to a better way of life, but he's entangled in the politics of the street as the leader of the Nightcrawlers gang. When vendors at a local carnival swindle Sunnyside residents, the Nightcrawlers join forces with rival hooligans, the Warlocks, and the Deathmakers to rob the amusement park. But when violence erupts, Nick is forced to wage a turf war and choose between his family and the street. This is the kind of film that I want to watch simply to see how they filmed it in that sort of a setting. And it really gives me that Fun City vibe, that real deep 70s gritty New York vibe that I love those types of movies.
Is Joey Travolta John Travolta's brother?
I'm not sure. Did you see what I put in there at the bottom?
What?
One of my hashtags, I put John Travolta just to see if it would get clicks. I can take a look. I'm not sure if they're related. I feel like with that sort of last name, they probably are.
And look at that. And look at that mug too.
Yeah. Very classic mug. Actor and producer, let's see. I mean, there's no mention of John Travolta in the first 2. Oh, there you go. Brother of John Travolta, Ellen Travolta, Margaret Travolta, Sam Travolta, and Anne Travolta.
This is maybe a controversial opinion. I think John Travolta sucks. I think he's got like maybe 2 or 3 good movies. And the rest of them.
I don't think that's a controversial opinion at all. I think that he is not very good.
He's not, and he's so weird looking.
I think I think he's got more than what you alluded to. He's probably got 5 or 6 that I think are really good.
Grease. I don't even like him. I'm just saying it because it's something people love. Grease, Pulp Fiction.
I love Look Who's Talking. I gotta be honest.
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's good. Marvin says California split probably music rights. However, I don't know that that's the case. The way that they announced that it was held up with legal problems, I almost feel like they can't track down who actually owns the film. The way they worded it, it sounded like there's probably a whole bunch of producers on it, and they just can't figure it out. Eric, welcome back. Cotter's not a film. Saturday Night Fever, I don't
really he's right.
But Blowout, yes.
Blowout is great, yeah. Blowout's the Palma, right?
Yes.
Saturday Night Fever is a good movie.
Travolta? I don't like Saturday Night Fever at all.
What do you like? Friday night temperature rising? Sunday night come down?
Anyways, the last one for the week from Scorpion releasing, coming through Kino, we are getting De Sade from 1969. This is with special guest appearance by John Huston as the Abbey. Keir Dullea and John Huston star. I love how, first off, this says special guest appearance, and then this says he stars. Which is it? Star in this film about the man who made an errant realm his own, the notorious Marquis de Sade. Man is not seduced to evil, he is evil. This is the creed of De Sade, and he reaffirms it daily as he exacts his sexual pleasure from the tender flesh of the women of France. He was not always a purveyor of corruption and depravity. He was once a young boy, honest, innocent, and about to become the victim of another's perverse brutality. First off, I really like this cover. Let me see. Does this zoom in on that as well if I do this?
Yeah, it should if you do the Control Plus or.
You see the detail on that?
Oh, that's cool. See, now it's like the women.
Yeah.
And you know how much I hate women, so this movie sounds awesome.
Eric, literally on Tuesday, I was just talking about how much I love Face Off. Face Off is incredible.
Face Off, unironically, is awesome.
Face Off is one of the most entertaining films of the 90s.
Dude, the opening is just so brutal. Just murders the kid like right away. Could you imagine just being like, oh, I'm gonna go see this John Travolta Nick Cage movie, and then just watching a child die in the first 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, Kobe, stay dead. Kobe.
Oh no.
Just kidding.
I might have to remove you from the stream.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Are
you a fan? Are you a big fan of Kobe?
I have a Kobe Bryant steelbook like 4 feet away from me right now.
Yeah. So he's your favorite rapist, huh?
He's one of.
Mine's Ben Roethlisberger. So.
Oh. Way to stealer my joke. Let's see.
Stealer my that's better than anything I'll come up with. It's great.
Usually we can talk about next week's releases next for what is coming out. For those that did not remember, first off, big one, obviously, Alligator in 4K, and one of my favorite Tom Hanks films of all time, Green Mile, coming out in 4K next week. The Escape from LA release that is coming on 4K.
I'm gonna get that.
Is botched, and they're doing a replacement program for it.
I'm not gonna get
that. It's a audio track issue.
It's always, dude. See, 4K has to be really a huge pain in the ass because it's like everybody's having issues. So it seems like audio is the biggest issue
with a lot of them. Yeah, Nathan, I actually really agree with this.
I mean, what? So we got Face Off, we got Hard Target. What else did he do? America.
I honestly don't even remember. Anyways, next week also from Kino, Man on the Moon, we are getting the Hurt Locker 4K Steelbook from Lionsgate. That's a Best Buy.
I'm gonna get that. That's a great. It's Catherine Bigelow, right?
Yep. Your dad's favorite.
One of my dad's 5 favorite movies.
Drop Dead Fred from Vinegar Syndrome, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy in 4K from Kino. The retail releases for Night of the Demon, Bloody Pit of Horror, and Black Candles from Severin. Alligator 2 from Scream Factory. The Kingsman 4K. Edge of Darkness from Warner Archive. Hard Target 4K. This is with the fixed disc is finally coming out.
Finally.
Yep. And I just got mine in direct from Kino, so I know they're shipping it as well. House of Gucci, everybody's favorite.
Anti-Italian propaganda. Fuck them.
By the way, Green Mile is also getting a 4K Steelbook from Best Buy, if that's your thing. Side Out from Mill Creek, if you are into the retro VHS style slipcovers, they're getting one of those. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, from Discotheque. It's from my friends at Discotheque. That was a surprise. Like, they knew people were going to be excited for it, but it was a massive success for them. Like, shocking.
I think that is the title that is going to get a lot of new fans for them.
That's just it. They also announced Street Sharks as well. They're dipping their toes into American animation, and just wild that's doing as well as it is.
Mitchell says, I'd like to see them do Bloodsport in 4K. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else amazing? Deadly Games.
Is that a Kingsman collection of all 3?
Yes.
Awesome. I'll probably pick
all 4K. Yes. Slapshot, the Paul Newman films coming out in a steelbook from I believe it's a Shout Select. No, Shout Factory title, not Shout Select, but also I don't think they ever confirmed. I don't think that's a new restoration. So that is just if you want the fancy packaging or you don't have it. Otherwise, just buy I think it's like $7 and has been for years for Slapshot.
What's that football movie?
The football movie. Oh, Wolfpack? This is a Vinegar Syndrome release.
Over. 2 over.
Oh, no. Let me see. American Underdog.
I kind of want to see that. It's about Kurt Warner.
Oh, that's why I don't want to see it. Got it. This is from Lionsgate, starring Zachary Levi and Anna Paquin and Dennis Quaid. That's a cast.
Yeah.
Indicator from the US. We are finally getting The Devil's Men. I've had that one pre-ordered for a while. All the Vinegar Syndrome partner releases. Voices is also coming from Indicator next week. Then we are getting the Severin titles, the Caligula box set, and the standalone releases are finally coming. Known about those for a while. Bartleby from Indicator. It's a pretty big week next week. The Triple Echo from Indicator, and then An Unsuitable Job for a Woman from Indicator.
Is that Attack on Titan season 3 complete? Or is that part 2?
The final part 1 limited edition, and it's the final season part 1 limited edition.
So season 4 part 1. Yeah. So like for those of you who don't collect anime, this is why I think Discotek's the best, is because they'll put out the entire series, unless it's like super long. Like I think Reborn, which is like 200 plus episodes. They put them out on 2 100 episode packs, and they're priced like around $40 or $50. It's actually really good bang for your buck. But Funimation, who has all the bigger titles, very cheap. But Funimation, who does, they do Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball. They'll break it up. So the first batch will always be a limited edition. So you have to pay like $80 to $100, and you'll get it'll be 12 episodes. So you're getting stickers and vinyl figures. It's stupid. It's not worth it. But then if you wait 6 months, they'll do a standard edition of the series, but broken up again, still in 2 parts. And then once those sell out, they'll do a third re-release of that season complete. So it's like they just gouge you for money. It's absolutely terrible.
Flip's favorite, Gamora season 4 is coming from Kino.
Oh man, dude, they only got one left. They're cranking it out.
Literally, the first one came out in like October or November, and they're already up through season 4.
Good night, Eric. I love you. Sleep tight, my sweet friend.
Have a good night, Eric. And I think that is
Pitch Perfect 3.
I don't know why it's getting a re-release, but it is.
Yeah. I have genuinely, like, not even joking, I've seen every one of those in theaters. Like, I love those.
I don't think I've seen the third one yet, but the first 2 were really good.
Aka, excuse me, you need to go see it ASAP. So good. I think I took my mom to the third one.
She probably hated it because it was too tame for her.
No, she loved it. Loved it. I had such a crush on Betty.
I do have a random handful of things to show as a collection update. I pre-ordered some direct from Kino, and they came in. So I got in Remo Williams with this slipcover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then my favorite, Charles Bronson and Murphy's Law.
Hell yeah.
And this one, genuinely really wanted to see a lot. The Final Option.
What's that? Is that like a spy thriller?
The closest you'll ever get to knowing the secrets of the legendary SAS. Special Air Service Captain Skellen takes the ultimate risk when he infiltrates a fanatical anti-nuclear group led by the ruthless Frankie Leith. Sounds interesting.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like a good movie.
And then I know this is sort of just a cheap repackaging, but I'm still really excited for this, that we got FX and FX2 together.
That's cool.
And then
is that have a slip too?
Yeah. All 5 of these straight from Kino had a slip this month.
That's nuts.
And then the one that I'm most looking forward to this month, because I've never seen it, but I love Exorcist ripoffs. I had to get Antichrist, or The Antichrist, and this genuinely is supposed to be great, and I love that cover.
When that got announced, I was like, oh, the William Dafoe movie, awesome. And then I saw the cover, and I was like, that's not what happens in that movie at all.
No, there's no William Dafoe penis.
Apparently, it was too big. He had to get a stunt cock.
Yep. I also finally got in a couple from Diabolic that I had pre-ordered ages ago. So I'm behind everybody on these, but cool. I get to, finally dive in. The Toolbox Murders in 4K, speaking of Blue Underground. And then the one that I alluded to earlier that was overpriced, and that's because I got a steelbook from Synapse, and that is The Kindred. And God, I love that slipcase.
Is that thing in the movie?
If I I don't think I've ever seen this one, so I can't say for sure. But from what I hear, yes and no. I don't think it's obviously they took some liberties to make it look better. But this is the art that a lot of people recognize for the Kindred. Little alien in the bottle there. And it says, hey, Anthony didn't ask to be brought into this world.
Can you or the chat help me out? There's a horror movie that I loved as a kid. I don't know the title. It's about a family that lives on a farm. Like an alien crash, like a spaceship crashes or something happens, and their vegetables start growing ginormously. They're having a great yield, but as they eat them, they become crazy and psychotic. And the only one that lives is the little boy because he thinks something's off.
That feels like a mixture of like 3 movies that I've seen. John says
it's a Serbian film. Oh, yeah. Dude, I feel like if I ever fell out of love with my wife, which will never happen, and I wanted a divorce, I would just make her watch a Serbian film, and it would be over. No, but I really want to know the name of that movie because I remember I have a fond memory of staying up one night as a young kid and seeing that and being scared shitless of ever going on my grandfather's farm. I was like, no, we're not going over
there. Does anybody recognize the movie that he brought up? Obviously, it's not
Serbian. There's 40 of you. I don't know about that, but they do become crazy. The house, I think, starts falling apart at the end, maybe burning or just like crumbling down. But the son refuses to eat the vegetables. It's got like a goo.
It sounds like it would be a short from like Creepshow 3 or something.
I mean, it could be. As a kid, anything feels long.
Man, I love Blue Underground's 4Ks. I cannot wait to see this upgraded.
What decade? I don't know. I was a kid. It was on like HBO or Cinemax. It looked like it was 70s, 80s, maybe mid 80s.
It sounds late 80s to early 90s probably.
This was probably I saw this in like 2001. Well, let's say 2001, 2002.
Before we start losing a whole bunch of people, I wanted to say one thing, please. I have a video scheduled for tomorrow already. I want everybody to take a look at this one tomorrow. It is going to be a big deal. It's a long video. It's 45 minutes long. I haven't done one of these in a long time. It is a guide for a label, and it's from Mondo Macabro. And Jared Honor from Mondo Macabro is in a lot of the video, but there's a lot of new things that he breaks in that video that are not listed anywhere else. Go ahead.
You did a label overview with the guy that works at the. So when you told me you interviewed him, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But this is even cooler. You're going over the releases with him. That's fucking awesome.
Some of them, yes. I did it, in my opinion, in a really cool way. I did everything that I normally do with all the titles, but then I asked him the questions that I normally explain in the video, and I cut in my interview with him into parts of that. And then later, I'm releasing the entire conversation as a full uncut thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Damn, look at you. Guys, you have no idea. I called him the other day, and he was fucking watching something and doing work and talking to me. I don't understand how this guy has the ability to do this. Can you Google The Curse 1987?
I'm already on it. And I also had a meeting in my right ear while I was talking to you.
Yeah. So he's just, this guy works like a motherfucker and everything.
The Curse 1987. Oh, is this? Oh, this is the Will Wheaton film. Yep, this is it. Let me share.
Is this the movie?
Yep, I remember it now.
Does this have a release anywhere?
It does, I believe, on Scream Factory. Let me pull this up, and here we go.
Yes. Yep, that is the movie I've been dying to see again. That's awesome. The Curse. I remember really liking this movie. It could have been a stupid kid. I'm a stupid adult, so.
It is The Curse and Curse 2 from Scream Factory. It is now out of print, and you can get it on Amazon used for $78.
Yeah, I don't like it that much. My lord, I'll probably just rent it. Is it available to rent somewhere? $78.
I love to solve it. Eric Googled Aliens Farm Kid Vegetables movie.
Oh man. What do you think about the 3 new M&Ms tomorrow? What's that?
Mondo Macabro. Not only am I releasing the Mondo Macabro guide video tomorrow, they're also announcing when stuff is going to be pre-ordered. It is going to be just wonderful happenstance that they're getting all kinds of clicks tomorrow.
I thought that John was talking about the 3 less sexy M&Ms are coming out tomorrow. Whatever Fox News was upset about.
I was going to say Tucker Carlson's going to be even more pissed. They are going to have a really great year. I will say that on Mondo Macabro. The next 3 are really intriguing, but I got to be honest, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year a hell of a lot more.
The news that Ryan is going to be breaking over the next couple of days has me excited.
One of the things that's in the video that I'll actually, you know what I think it is in the video. One of the things I'll share right now, everybody knows they're putting out Caligari. Was it 89 Caligari? They announced that's their first 4K title coming out this year. One of the coolest things for me that he shared is that the company that did the Synapse restoration of Suspiria, which everybody lauds as like one of the top 5 4Ks ever, they did the Caligari restoration for Mondo Macabro. And they offered to do it for free or almost free, essentially, because they wanted the experience of working on that film. And it's all done in Poland. So
that's awesome.
I am so stoked that company is doing it. Caligari is going to shine in 4K.
I've never seen this movie, but that Suspiria 4K is beautiful.
Yeah. Caligari is a... Well, first of all, pretty much every Mondo Macabro film is weird. I mean, the tagline for the company is the wild side of world cinema, and Caligari it's like a sexual fever dream mixed with horror aspects, and it's just great. It is going to be such a great release.
Do any other labels have taglines like that?
I feel like Blue Underground did. Is there anything on here?
Does Arrow have one?
I don't think so.
I know for like Arrow Channel or Arrow Play or whatever, the tagline was like "Join the cult" or something, like something like that. Criterion is probably like overpriced bullshit. That's a good tagline.
I love it. Overpriced, but a lot of the stuff from other labels are way more expensive.
I do have to give it to Criterion. I mean, this is the first time in a while that I'm interested in 2 or more titles from them. So I think this announcement batch was great. So.
And I thought it was pretty rough.
I want more Indonesian Filipino films, but don't sound like that's happening.
John, I will say give a watch to that video tomorrow.
Damn. Criterion, we might get it right.
Criterion, remember when we were great?
Remember when Criterion may be worth collecting?
Kino Lorber would be like, get off my lawn.
Kino would be, oh man. I want to get a t-shirt of all the sassy replies from the PR manager.
That might be good to do as a merch line for the channel for this year. Put just the name of the label and a fake tagline.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Arrow, our fans suck.
Arrow, none for me this month.
More Asian films? ? Explanation mark. Pass.
Where's the horror?
What was the Hitcher? That was the meme for a while. When you're releasing the Hitcher?
Criterion. I guess we will go 4K people.
Kino. Kino, a lot. Just a lot. Oh, I got it. Kino, boomers like it simple. I cannot believe that the average age of a Kino Lorber fan is 62, 63. That's nuts.
This This is going to sound like I'm bragging or like name dropping or something like that. I promise I'm not. I was on a phone call with a guy that runs another label that's not Mondo Macabro last week. And we were talking about an opportunity that I might have. And one of the things he said is when he was in film school, he interned with Kino. And there are still people to this day that send in catalog orders like monthly, literally, to buy things brand new every single month. And all he does is he gets the order, goes onto the website, and buys it for them through the website.
That's pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, he said back when he was doing it, which has been like 3 or 4 years, the average age then was 65, and it's supposedly gone down a little bit.
I mean, judging by their catalog, probably not very much.
Well, they've started putting out a lot of more appealing stuff to the general public. Kino used to just be like old westerns and old noir titles, and now they're still doing that, but they're doing a lot of random other shit too.
Dude, it really blows my mind. Like, I love Kino just for the fact that because I love westerns.
Vinegar Syndrome, you need another slipcover.
I know you can, sorry.
Flickering says, I'm already stoked for Caligari, but after hearing the Cafe Flesh soundtrack yesterday, I'm hoping Fun City or someone can get Cafe Flesh and Night Dreams on Blue sooner rather than later. From what I hear, there might be some rights issues with Cafe Flesh. Not sure on that one. I know a couple of years ago, Vinegar Syndrome had shot it down that they were working on it at the time, but I'm hoping now that might have changed. Because I agree, Flickering. I really think that Fun City should be putting that out. It fits them perfectly.
Severin, maybe our website will work.
Severin, we don't give a fuck about studio film rights. Jaws 5.
Oh, they should change the name. No, I got it. Severin, Blackout Friday sale, because their website goes completely blacked out.
You got a problem? Email us. Golder, what's going on? Yeah, definitely, Hilton. Kino made their mark with Silence back in the day. Silence and all the, I mean, they're still doing some really great stuff with those really old films. Like, Francis the Mule, I joke about it, but it's something that a lot of people just never got a chance to see. Because
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be mailing that in, being like, hey.
Or
well, no, like I was gonna say what I love about Kino is that I love westerns, and it's just like every month or two you just get a batch of them, and you're like, how are they still pulling these? Like, how are it's mind blowing. Milk Creek. Really poor releases unless you're Ultraman.
Or for some reason getting a Mondo X Steelbook of Rad. I still don't understand how Mill Creek got that release.
And Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I really want a release of Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. That doesn't have a good release anywhere.
Yep. There's still a lot of stuff that, and not just small stuff either. We're talking like big name titles that have never had a Blu-ray release. Obviously, a lot of that was Paramount, and for years we could just say Paramount does not release any catalog titles. But now, starting last year, they have opened up the floodgates, and everything has started coming out, which is great. But now everybody's just like, "Well, you're doing it. How come you haven't done this one random ass favorite title I have?"
Speaking of Paramount, I got Paramount Plus.
Nice,
because my dad wants to watch 1883 and Mayor of Kingstown, which I started today. It's really good. I love Taylor Sheridan, man. Did you hear how many shows that they signed with him?
Wasn't it like 3 or 4?
So they got Yellowstone, the prequel 1886. They're doing a spin-off series of Yellowstone called 4 Sixes. They're doing another spin-off to Yellowstone called 1939 about that family in the Prohibition era. Then he's got Mayor of Kingstown. He has a new show coming out with who's the Zoe Saldana, I think is it. I think it is. And then Zoe Saldana. He's got 2 shows that just got announced. Both are like CIA bullshit. This is, it's Taylor Sheridan. And then he's doing a mob show with Sylvester Stallone as the star. And then they're doing who was the first black lawman? Bass Reeves. Then he's writing a show about Bass Reeves.
It was a journey.
So he's got like 7, 8 shows.
Jesus. Mitchell says the Hammerbox and Rita Hayworth collections are good for Mill Creek. LOL. Yes, they are. And one more I wanted to throw in there: the Inner Sanctum Mysteries that they did is actually a really good release as well. Shit, I forgot the South Park stuff was coming out. The COVID specials
On Blu-ray?
No, on Paramount Plus.
Oh, we have Paramount Plus is the app sucks. I just get it through Amazon. The UI on Amazon sucks, but it's much better.
The Amazon Prime app sucks too, like crazy.
Oh, it's way worse, dude.
I don't understand why Amazon is literally, head of the. Bezos is literally the most expensive, richest person in the world, and that app is built like something from 14 years ago.
And then talking to my friends in the anime industry, to upload something, like to get your show on Amazon, is a massive pain in the ass. Like it's like just like the whole thing is just designed half-backwards, just half-assed.
Weird.
Yeah. Also, when they because they had their own anime streaming service called like Haya or something, but it failed, so they just like. And it was a separate paid service too. But when it failed, they just rolled it into Prime. But shows were coming out, and you couldn't, like the day that they were on Prime, you couldn't just type in the name and search it up. You would have to like Google a link directly to the Amazon page, and then you'll be able to watch it.
You know what pisses me off that's the same way? I know not to pivot too much here, but Target just had one of their buy one or buy two, get one free sales. And on Target, if something is sold out at the moment, they take the page down from their website in full. So it makes it look like they don't sell that title. So to find out if they sell something, you have to Google Target blank blank Blu-ray, and then you get the link and it goes to the page because it's still up if you search for it. But then it says sold out. Their search results just suck ass. Dave says, do titles move from Criterion to other labels? I want the Bruce Lee set, but I haven't heard good things about the Criterion packaging.
Dave, all we'll say is be patient with the Bruce Lee set. Because we know something, but just be patient,
brother. Save your money on Bruce Lee, Dave.
Yep.
Amazon doesn't have a live feed option, so it hurts fans that use it for Shudder events. And you know what sucks is there are people that have Shudder and they attach it to their Amazon account somehow, I believe, and then it still doesn't work. So they have access to the full app on Shudder, but if you access it through Amazon, you're just screwed.
If it wasn't so convenient, man. It's like so convenient that they're allowed to be shitty. You know what I mean?
I'm not okay with it.
I'm not okay with it either, but it's like, hey, I can order 636 episodes of Gunsmoke and it'll be here in 2 days. That's wild.
That release is so huge.
It's so stupid, dude.
Did you find out how many discs it was finally?
No, just Google it real quick. Just write Gunsmoke Complete Collection discs. I think it's like 150.
Jesus Christ.
I think it might be more. It's the second biggest DVD set. First being the Star Trek set.
Oh, that's expensive. Number of discs. Oh my fucking God.
How much is it?
143.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a lot of Gunsmoke.
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
For anybody, yeah. So Flip just showed off on our Tuesday show that he just got in Gunsmoke. And I'll put the link for it in here just in case anybody wants to look at this. It is hilarious. 143 discs. And the picture of this, I mean, first off, let me expand this and I'm going to share this screen. The way that they package this is wild. When you first flip that around, I was like, no way that is like that. But it's all of the DVD seasons in full season packaging here.
Also, they looked uniform in that picture. They're not uniform. They're not. Like some here, I'll just because some of them are like thinner. One of them is insanely fat. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so as you can tell right here, some of them are obviously thinner than the others.
Oh yeah.
I think this one right here. this one is the biggest one, and this is how they're packaged. Because I was a little pissed. Luckily, I had no what are they called, swimmers, when there's like one loose in there. Luckily, there was no loose discs. I don't even have a place to fucking set.
Mitchell, I just looked, and the Dark Shadows complete collection is 131 discs. So it's actually smaller than this Gunsmoke one.
So it's like this, but there's two discs per spool. So there's 2 discs here, 2 discs in the back, 2 discs here, 2 discs there.
Wild setup.
Yeah, and then it's crazy because like look how thick that page is, because there's 2 discs.
I've never seen something like that.
You should buy the set. It's your favorite show.
Eric just got in Mission Impossible 6-movie collection in 4K from Amazon, and it came in a box, not in a little plastic wrap. Amazing.
Well, yeah, you have to support Tom Cruise. You know, you got to make sure he doesn't get hurt.
Flip Cohen wants to know: did they ship it in a bubble mailer?
You'll never believe what it came in. It came in a ginormous box, like I could fit 10 of those in, and one of those bubble wrap things. That's it. You'll never believe. And it came with, where's it at? It came with the proposition in the same box, and this was just like floating around. It didn't get crushed.
Jeez.
So I was so upset when I saw that box. I was like, and I picked it up, and it's just all lopsided with the weight.
And then you shake it, it's like, kuta, kuta.
I was like, oh my God. And I opened it, and I was like, well, everything's all right. Why is Dark Shadows 100? What is Dark Shadows?
First of all, if you haven't seen it, the packaging on this is really cool. Let me pull this up. Also, for those that don't know, Dark Shadows for a while was the most bootlegged set ever, which was really weird. But here's this.
Oh, that is so cool.
And then here's another picture of it.
Have you seen the Speed Racer set?
Oh yes, I know which one you're talking about.
The big head. Yeah. Sindal, to answer your question, I do. Sometimes I will theme my set. My like hauls. I posted on Reddit. I think I wrote like I yeet hauled a little too hard this week.
Yep.
It was all westerns. But yeah, like I'll get a new batch, watch it, and then be like, I'm in the mood for this.
And Dark Shadows, this is exactly what it is. It's a gothic soap opera with a vampire. It's that movie that Johnny Depp was in, the remake of the show.
McFarlane Publishing put out a definitive Gunsmoke episode with a synopsis. What is that? Is that book bigger than the Bible? Ooh, John says he finally watched the Vengeance Trail set, dude. Congrats. Great set. Where's it at? Yeah, right here. One of my favorite releases of last year. Great. Isn't there a standard of this now?
I think it either just came out or is about to come out.
I wonder if they're going to fix that issue on the spine. The issue that was so pressing for so many people.
Everybody blew that so far out of proportion.
I want to meet the person who shows their box sets like that and then slap them.
I agree.
Red Sun. What's that?
I have no idea. So
Japan?
I guess the answer for both of us is no.
I love Japan.
Let's see. Red Sun is a 1971 film, and IMDb says, "Oh, this is a flipped movie. That's why." In 1870, a gang robs a train and steals a ceremonial Japanese sword meant as a gift for the U.S. president, prompting a manhunt to retrieve it. And it stars Charles Bronson. That seems like everything.
That seems like a great thing. But there's a Masamune sword, a real Masamune sword that was gifted to one of our presidents. That's, I believe, near you. I think it's in a museum near you.
Truman, probably.
I think it's near you. I think the museum's near you.
It's a Western with Bronson and Mifune.
I haven't seen that, but I love both of those men with all my heart.
Nathan says, "Can you imagine a complete The Simpsons set?"
Haven't they done like up to?
They've done a lot of single DVDs, but I don't think they've ever done a complete up to that point set.
Dude, they need to end The Simpsons stuff.
Sardis loves Red Sun, and so does Dave.
Well, I will watch it.
Dave has been watching all the Bond, and he's all the way up through Spectre.
You know what? Controversial opinion. I don't think Spectre is that bad. I don't think any of the Craig movies are that bad.
I think Spectre appeared bad because of what it followed.
Yeah, no, dude. Skyfall is just
right.
So good.
And that's the thing with those Bond movies. Obviously, it's going to be like a roller coaster of up and downs, no matter what. Some of them are going to be great. Some are going to be less great.
Do top 3, bottom 3 Bond girl.
Bond girl, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Bond girl, yeah.
I mean, Pierce Brosnan's pretty hot. Wait, Bond girl.
Pierce Brosnan is pretty hot.
Halle Berry in her prime, though.
I've never been that big of a fan. I don't know
why. What is it?
I get it.
Was it Swordfish that she was in? That
yeah.
Everybody loved that one scene.
Yeah.
Sardis finished the Tripod series today. 2nd season is amazing.
Next generation of physical media discs should be mini discs? Like what? Like PSP? UMDs?
He's not saying that. He's saying create something new that can fit on a smaller medium.
There's a local character, celebrity named the Chili Bowl Mullet Man. If you can Google Chili Bowl Mullet Man real quick, please, and just pull him up. But his thing is he's obsessed. He collects UMDs, all the movie UMDs for the PSP. I think he has a
this is the guy you showed me.
Yeah, Chili Bowl Mullet. I love him. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
So
he's
I
awesome.
looked up the Google image, and I just have to share the screen.
Chili Bowl Mullet. He's awesome, dude. He's awesome. Wow. Can't wait. Can you Chili Bowl Moment Man COVID-19 vaccine? You can, because he's pro-vaccine, and the image is so good.
Oh wait, vaccine?
I don't think it's gonna pull up. Maybe the image. It's him kneeling with like his fist on the ground, and he's going like this, and it just says "Get vaccinated, Chili Bowl Mullet Man." See right there. Pull up the picture of the food. That's him. He does this almost daily on his Facebook. He'll post his PSP, what movie he's watching on his PSP, and what dinner he's having. See, there's another one in the bottom corner right there in the left. He's a gym, dude. He's a gym of a human being. I love him to death.
Wow.
And he's like really nice.
What a character. Let's see. Nathan says Vesper and Honey Rider. Mitchell says the shower scene in Casino Royale was a different kind of Bond. Dave says, here's a hot take, may make enemies. After the Moore years, the Craig films are classics.
I think the Craig films are the best.
I don't see how that would be a hot take, to be honest.
But I'm sure somebody who eats beans for breakfast will disagree with
me. Where's Foo?
No, Foo has good taste. Foo has good taste. I don't think Foo eats beans for breakfast. He's a pretty... he has good taste in a lot of stuff.
Well, I am stoked that you could come out and hang out tonight. I'm
stoked, dude. This is fun.
I think it's a good thing that the restaurant closed tonight.
Maybe I'll just shut it down forever and we'll stream every day.
Maybe it's just because you made enough money on Super Bowl Sunday, you could have the night off.
Wait, what?
You made enough money on Super Bowl Sunday, so now you could have an easy night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't make it that much. We made a nice amount, but we didn't have we didn't. I wish, dude. If we made like 100,000 a night, I would not work for 3 months. I'd be like, I'm done.
So I haven't brought this up to you yet, but just here with 44 friends of mine and you, I think this would be a good time to bring up. I'm planning on going to possibly a con this year, and maybe seeing how many people we could get to come meet up. It would be pretty sick if we can get a big group of people.
Or we could do a live show together.
Hell yeah.
That'd be fun.
We, me and a friend from some of the Facebook groups, we were talking about going to either Monsterpalooza in LA or going to Seattle Crypticon, just because those are easier times to travel. That one's in August, and then the Monsterpalooza is, I think it's the first weekend in June.
If we did August, that'd be great. There's a train that goes directly to the West Coast.
Oh,
here.
nice.
It's like $90 for a little cabin. And it's like a 3-day ride. I would love to just sit there and just look outside and see the scenic parts of America.
Not to get into the conversation about all the jobs that I've done, but since I worked on so many trains, I just can't do it anymore.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that you worked on trains.
Yeah,
like you're 100-year-old man.
We menu item for your restaurant on Super Bowl Sunday.
So usually we're slow Super Bowl Sunday for some reason because our we're homemade Italian food. It's not mass produced, so our prices are a little bit expensive. So I came up with the idea of doing 2 16-inch pizzas, 12 cheese stuffed breadsticks, 4 cups of sauce for $55, and we sold so much food. Also, we have a spaghetti special that feeds up to 6. It comes with spaghetti, salad, garlic bread, Parmesan for 6 people. It's 45 without meatballs, 60 with meatballs. We sold out of we almost ran out of dough. We had like 3 dough balls left. We ran out of boxes of pizza boxes. So even if we got another pizza, we couldn't package it. We ran out of spaghetti sauce. We ran out of cheese. I think I did 25 blocks that day. Brian would look good with an engineer cab. Yeah. But yeah, we sold out. It was our second highest grossing night in the history of Filippo's. The first being Christmas Eve 2 years ago.
Jeez. And then I just want to point out the person that asked you that is the one that we asked about earlier. You were like, is
yeah, I know. I saw him earlier. I was like, there he is.
John says, too bad KC doesn't have any good cons. There are 2 cons here. Neither one are great, but the big thing is it's easier for people to travel to one of those other ones. So that's why we're considering those. But yeah, that might be coming. And obviously, if that does happen, definitely going to do some videos from there.
Oh, man. Ryan and I will do vlogs, but I'll have to get like an extender to be able to capture him in the same video as me because he's so fucking tall.
We'll buy you a pair of stilts to walk around in.
When I first started dating Taylor, I bought boots and then I bought these soles that made you like 2 inches taller. So I catfished her, man.
Sarda says you need to have a refill night where the customers bring the boxes back.
Oh, dude, imagine. Oh, we had these people who are never happy. These customers that are never happy, right? When they would get an all veggie pizza, they would bitch that their pizza was soggy. It's like you got like every vegetable we have. It's fresh. Of course, it's gonna be soggy. And then they got an all meat and then added additional meat like extra sausage, and then they bitched that it was too greasy. So we were just like, you just can't order anymore. You're too stupid.
Jeff wants to know how much taller is your wife?
She's like 2 inches taller. But you just honestly, that's fine with me. Yeah.
I'll rub your back and pretend you're a ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, that's good.
Anyways, I think this is probably about a good place to call it for the night. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We got a pretty great night tonight. I am stoked on it. Again, that video is going up tomorrow morning. It'll be up around 11-ish Eastern. And I know it sounds odd, but I'm going to probably be pushing the video pretty hard. If you like it, please share it around. Any groups that you can on Facebook, Reddit, whatever you have, tweet it. Tag Mondo Macabro in it. There's going to be a lot of people talking about Mondo tomorrow. So please share it around. It's kind of a big deal video.
It is a very big deal video.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Last little tease I'll throw in at the end before I do the outro here. Next month is the 1-year anniversary of the channel, and there is going to be a lot of random additions coming to the channel for the 1 year. So pay attention to that. Thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. From one collector to all of you. Have a good night. See ya.